This is Bringing the Darkness to the Light with Catherine Nadal, professional psychic medium.
Today's guest is Logan Layman. Logan is a national touring artist and musician, bass player, lead vocalist, as well as an award-winning songwriter. She plays music with her brother Cole, who plays guitar, and her fiancé Trey, who plays drums, as well as other incredibly talented musicians. Logan and Cole are both proudly endorsed by Ernie Ball and Music Man, and they both have their own signature instruments made exclusively for them. Other endorsements include Farmer Foot Drums and Screwball. Logan has amassed a worldwide following in preparation for her upcoming 12-song album release. The music is an extremely well-rounded mixture of rock, pop, country, R&B, soul, and funk, done with the utmost attention to detail with the highest level of performance. The amount of fun and energy this band has on stage is captivating. It's a pleasure to have you on, Logan.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Yes, it's very exciting. I actually saw you at NAMM. I had the opportunity to attend the Paulie Z Jam Night. They had some bands open, and you were the main band before the actual whole event kind of unrolled in front of us. But let me tell you, you got the whole crowd going. You have a lot of energy. You played a lot of originals. You even did covers. I mean, it was a good mixture of music. Like I was like in the first, second row. We kept moving around on the floor. And a lot of people around me were going, who's this? And then they were like, looking up on their cell phones and stuff. So that's always a good, that's always a good sign,
Yeah,
So I wanted to say congratulations. You have a lot of new music coming out, but you also have a lot of activity happening around you. So congratulations to that. I wanted to start out with who you are as a person and how you really got involved in the music. Was your family an influence, or how did those all come together for you?
So my older brother started playing guitar when he was extremely young. He had a disability called development delay. And so he was super weak, like couldn't even hold a pencil. And he just was in and out of the doctor's office and nothing seemed to be working, like medication. And he had like the hand strengthening exercises. And so my parents were like, this is a shot in the dark, but like, what if we buy him a guitar and maybe that will help strengthen his fingers? So they bought him a guitar, and immediately within a year, he had built up the strength just from playing the guitar to be able to do things normally again. So he started playing guitar, and then I like kind of felt left out. I was like, he's my best friend. I'm just uncool. I'm the uncool sister. So then I picked up the guitar as well, and then realized I could never catch him because of the experience that he had on me. So I switched to bass.
Oh, wow. So how old was he when he picked up the guitar first?
He was 7 years old.
So that's really young. Wow, it's amazing. Are your parents musical?
My mom used to play in a punk rock band when she was younger. She's a drummer, but she hadn't visited music at all until my brother Cole and I got back into music, and she was like, whoa, maybe I should too. So she played drums for us really, really early on in our music career.
That's wild. So your brother was 7, and then when did you pick up the guitar and then move to bass? Were you around the same age as him, or?
I was 5 years old when I picked up guitar, and then I moved to bass when I was 6 because I hated using picks. And when I found out that bass players could just play with their fingers, I was like, amazing. This is exactly what I want.
That's wild. So what was it about the pick? I mean, your fingers must have been so small playing 5. So was the pick bigger than your fingers?
Yes, it was. It was just hard for me to use. I just didn't have that coordination. Guitar is great. Love guitar players, but I think I made the right decision. I am a bass player at heart, and being able to use my fingers is my favorite.
Wow. So it's interesting. Your mom played in punk. So did you originate in the Nashville area, or where did she grow up playing punk?
So she grew up in Maine. Both of my parents were in the military. They're both veterans now. So we kind of moved all around, all over the place. So when people ask me where I'm from, I don't really know what to say. But my mom spent a lot of time in northern parts of America. And then I grew up in Florida, is where I say that I spent the most time growing up. And she had a very big punk influence for where she lived.
Wow, that's wild. Yeah. That's really interesting. So the drums, yep, she was probably a Marky Ramone fan. Probably. Wow, very cool. Yeah. Well, you're very lucky that your mother was so involved with you and also encouraging you guys at a very young age, which is
Yeah.
good. And that's a very interesting approach to your brother's early development. They really took a jump on that, and that he actually kind of moved with it. He didn't resist it, and he actually became very proficient in it. Cool. So how did it move into like your schooling? Did you join like school bands, or how did it go from there?
In middle school, I didn't do much. When we moved to Virginia from DC, I was a new kid, didn't really get involved in anything until high school. And then in high school, I was in three sports at the same time and did orchestra and band. I don't know, I'm kind of a crazy person. If I have free time, I kind of freak out. I very much like always having something to do. So, and I also was big on academics too. So yeah, I played orchestra, the big upright bass, and then I also played upright bass in band too.
Wow. So I could see your competitive nature,
Yeah.
having all of that involved, that's a lot of involvement. Upright bass is probably a lot different than playing bass the way you're playing it now. Was that like a better introduction to bass for you to play that way when you were growing up?
I had been playing electric bass like years before that because that's like basically what I first started on. And like my first ever live performance was when I was 8. So it was a learning curve doing upright bass, and I did enjoy it. And I still like enjoy playing upright bass, but definitely electric is my heart and soul.
Wow. This is so interesting to me because you're young. So tell me around how long ago is this for you? I mean, you're a young person, so you would be in high school like maybe 10 years ago or
10
less.
years ago. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
look kind of young to me.
Yeah.
Not to put you on the spot.
No, I'm 25, so
Oh,
yeah,
yeah. So you are
11.
young. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, good. So when you were in high school and you're playing the band and you're playing with others at school, what were your musical interests? Because, if your mom's punk, music your parents played probably different than what you were involved in, right?
Yeah. So growing up, I listened to like Rob Zombie and Linkin Park, which still to this day love Linkin Park. It's one of my favorite bands of all time. And then also, like my dad has always loved classic rock, so I've been a big fan of like Led Zeppelin. If I had to pick a favorite band of all time, is probably my favorite band. And then also I grew up listening also to Jack Johnson, John Mayer. Kind of the genres are all over the place. And then also for a large portion of my life, I played strictly blues music because that's what my brother and I loved the most. It was because we saw Stevie Ray Vaughan once when we were on YouTube, a video of him playing. So we just started playing blues music all the time. But we love everything.
Yeah, it sounds like it. There's a big difference between all of that music that you mentioned. So,
Yeah.
especially playing it. I mean, wow, I'm very impressed for you to be able to hop from one into another is just very impressive. So, tell me about your brothers. Like, so you know how you play, like your method, how you learn songs. Was your brother an influence in helping show you stuff? Or he was like, you're kind of on your own, like figure it out yourself? Like, how did that work?
I would say I was pretty much on my own. I feel like his guitar is his safe space. So he would be learning something in his room, and then I would like be learning something completely different. I love all different genres of music, but I feel like as a bass player, I'm more funk than anything, and he's more bluesy. When we would like actually get together and practice or jam, it would be like a mixture of both blues from his end and then funk from my end.
Oh, wow. So who thought about putting together your first band? Where did that come from, like to play outside of the house?
I started with the School of Rock when I was in DC. And then when we moved to Virginia, I was in another branch of the School of Rock, but called Academy of Rock. So that like really jump started my being comfortable and like playing out and like playing at bars and stuff when I was super young.
Yes, I'm very familiar with the School of Rock. Some of my guests have actually been instructors of School of Rock, and other ones have actually attended School of Rock. And as we mentioned earlier, Paulie Z does a lot of work with children
Yeah.
that are part of the music community, and a lot of the shows he puts on has the children play before the big acts come out. So he's really a huge advocate to young musicians. So that's really cool. How did it feel being at the School of Rock? I mean, I have a military background as well, coming from a military family and getting integrated with other civilian families. How was that? Like, did you find it interesting to meet other people or meet other musicians in that area that were just as young as you?
I loved it so much. If I could change my middle name, I would change it to extrovert. I'm just an extreme social butterfly. I love talking to everyone, and I've been like that ever since I was little. And so I loved having the community of being like, oh, there's actually like other cool kids my age that do the same thing and like the same music as I do. But also, I will say that it was pretty difficult because we did move around a lot. And I feel like when we were like super comfortable and like I had met my best friends, we had to move to a different place and start all over again, which I am super thankful for because I feel like it's like shaped me a lot as the person I am today. The moving around, getting to know so many different people, and then like unfortunately leaving what you had built there, like the community was pretty difficult as a kid.
Yeah, that usually is very difficult. What were the areas or what were the states that you attended School of Rock?
I did in Fairfax. When I lived in DC, there was one in Fairfax, Virginia, I believe that was super close to us. And then Academy of Rock was in Newport News, Virginia.
Beautiful areas.
Yeah.
Tough duty stations. Yeah, right. That's so funny. Yeah, yeah, I'm familiar with both of those places. Yeah. Wow, that's really impressive. So, how did it feel going from one of those places to the other? Because it sounds like the Institute was like a higher level of learning. Is that how they describe it?
Yeah. I feel like both places like were completely different, and there was a lot of different mentors, but they were completely different in like ways that like shaped me as a musician I am today. It was like maybe where one place lacked, like the other place made up for it. And all the mentors that I remember being taught by in the School of Rock were super, super talented and really cared about shaping the children's music careers.
Yes, I often think as a fan or as an attendee at an event, I often think, what is going through the musician's mind? You're faced with all these people. So, how did the School of Rock help you stay focused? Because it could be a lot of distractions on the stage, there could be a lot of distractions in an audience. Like, how did they prepare you for like a real being out on the out, like in a uncontrolled environment, I have to
Yeah.
say. Because the place we were at was really big. I mean, it was an arena and there was a
Yeah.
lot going on, So you're up on stage, but how do you feel like, because there's a lot of young people that listen to the show, so.
So the School of Rock helped me. I mean, this is a common phrase, but I feel like it really did help me when I was little and I was like nervous of everything and like had bad stage fright. It's like the only people that are going to notice that if you're doing something wrong or if you look silly up there is yourself. No one else is going to notice that. And so the thing is like, oh, well, look into the crowd and imagine everyone's like in their underwear. And when I was a kid, I thought that was so funny, but I feel like it really did like help me kind of get through the fear of like just, and most of the time when people at School of Rock, it was the other School of Rock kids' families that were there watching. So it was really easy too to be like, oh, we're all doing the same thing. We're all musicians, like all getting taught the same thing. We're all good. So there was just nothing to worry about when it comes to it. And now there's like a ton of videos that get taken of me every day, and I'm just having like the most rancid bass face. And it's like all over the internet, and I love it. And I think it's great. That's
What,
what
what does that mean? What's a rancid bass face? What does that expression mean?
just a very I'm very expressive when I play bass and when I play solos, so I don't even realize sometimes what I'm doing with my face. And then I rewatch videos and I'm like, ooh,
There's
I'm
a
like,
lot.
whoa.
Listen. There's a lot of very, very well-known people that very often say that. Very
Yeah.
often say that, and they say, "I have a guitar face" or something. Like they have to make those faces, and they don't even know they're doing it. But it's
Yeah.
they're hitting those notes, and it comes from within. So that's what I call playing with passion. So
Yeah.
you must be
Yeah.
doing something good. Very good. Wow. So, do you remember your first, like, outside of School of Rock, your first, like, okay, we're going to play in the community? Was it at, like, a shopping mall, or, like, where did you see your first gig outside of a School of Rock area?
Well, in Virginia, I used to play at a place called Jam and Java. That was like a bar. Ever since I was little, I've always like gravitated towards the bar scene, which is funny because I was literally a kid, shouldn't have even been in those places. But I don't know. I felt like those people were like my people, if that makes sense. But I don't know, just the vibe of like a close, like intimate setting that everyone in there is just having a good time and everyone's like really loving music and paying attention. And I just love playing at bars. And so I've always played at bars. Like I think I was 9 years old and I opened up for one of the Allman Brothers was doing like a pop-up concert at a venue called the Bangkok Blues. I was just 9 years old, not having any idea who the Allman Brothers were. And my mom was like, "Do you know who you're opening for?" And I'm like, "What?" But looking back on that now, like I mean, I've been extremely lucky growing up having the experience that I did in the music industry.
So, it sounds like you would have been opening up for Greg Allman.
Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty big. I actually had someone on this show that actually played in Greg Allman's band. So
No way.
I'll have to connect you after the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, very interesting. So I guess you had to have permission to get into these bars, or they obviously knew you were younger, you know?
Yeah.
Do you feel like, I know it's a little bit of a different question, but do you feel like you were born to play an instrument because it came so quickly to you? Sometimes people reference like I play by ear. Do you feel that happens to you, or do you feel like you really have to learn the song?
I think I was definitely born to play music. When I went to college, all 4 years that I went to college, I tried to avoid music as much as possible. And I never played, and I like had my degree and was like, all right, I'm going to live a normal life now without music. And I don't know why I ever thought that that was ever part of my life, like without music. I don't know why. I just had something in my mind be like, you're not a musician, like live a normal life. So I tried that, and I had a job set up after I graduated in Florida, and my brother like was begging me for like 2 weeks straight, being like, move to Nashville, like let's test out our luck. So finally, the day before I almost signed a lease to live in Florida and work in Florida, my brother convinced me and I moved here. And I don't know why I ever tried to not do music, because I think I very clearly am like born to always have music in my life somehow.
Oh, wow. So, in your experience, had you been given any particular honors in playing before you decided you thought you could live a normal life? Like, were you already given like high honors in playing? Or sometimes people are like, oh, I got this award and that award. And, they still didn't think that they were that good, but they were given
Yeah.
all of these awards. So, were you like that?
I don't know. That's a good question. I won a lot of awards when I was younger, and my brother and I were on a TV show when we were super young. That was like, I guess I kind of just felt like music was my entire life, and I wanted to like move on and like see if I could just like go to college, have fun, like meet friends, and like kind of live my own life without music being attached to me. And yeah, that didn't work out, which I'm glad it didn't.
That I understand. Yeah, sometimes we try to put on a shoe that doesn't fit, and we keep
Yeah.
forcing it, and then we just like it's just not for us. What was the TV show that you guys were on?
We were on America's Got Talent.
That's a big show. Tell me about
Yes.
that. How old were you? How did you get invited to that?
I was 12 years old and my brother was 15. And we got invited to do a private audition. We had just played the Bluebird Cafe in Nashville. So someone that was there that saw us offered us a private audition that would like lead us straight into the live rounds. So we said yes and we did it. I don't know if there's much I can say about it. Our audition didn't air and we did pull ourselves from continuing on. So I don't know if there if there's much I could say about
That's okay.
that.
Well, first of all, you said a lot there, but the Bluebird Cafe is a famous place.
Yeah.
And there's a musician by the name of John Waite that has a song that he made while he was in the Bluebird Cafe. And it's a famous song. I'll have to share it with you. That's kind of a well known place. And a lot of musicians are either kind of discovered there or they're inspired to write songs there. So I find that connection for you very interesting. Yes,
Yeah.
sometimes those opportunities come along, but for whatever reason don't advance. But it must have been really like a validation for you and your brother being young and saying, wow, these people have this belief in us. You know, that's got to do something
Yeah.
to your confidence outside of the School of Rock, right?
Yeah.
Wow. So that's interesting. Yeah. So just circling back to that for a minute, did you find that you thought you could have went forward or no? Because I know you say you can't really talk about it, but would you have wanted to move forward or you just felt like TV is really not for you?
No. I feel like I didn't want to move forward. And I will say this isn't directed at any TV show, what I'm about to say. But my brother and I, when we were playing blues music, which I don't know if you know, like Kingfish, but we used to go to Clarksdale, Mississippi. We would do these blues camps, and we played with Kingfish for a while actually, and met all these insanely talented musicians. But a lot of people that didn't understand blues music would tell us, you should write country music, or you're never going to get noticed off of playing blues. And just different things like that, telling us that we shouldn't be in the genre we were in because we won't be successful. And so my brother and I were kind of like, well, we like this genre of music. If we don't get successful playing this genre of music, we don't care. It's like the blues is very emotional, and we didn't want people to tell us what we should have done and play different types of music that we didn't want to play, you know?
That makes total sense. Like we discussed earlier, that you play from the heart. And if you feel
Yeah.
that your, music comes from your soul and your soul is really coming from a place for blues or being in that kind of feeling to it, then you have to stay true to yourself. And a lot of musicians feel that way, that they feel that they can't be commercialized or marketed or, there's a big piece of that. It's like, how far will you go to become famous? You have to ask yourself those tough questions like, I'll go this far, but I won't do this, or I'll do this, but I won't do that, and
Yes.
that's really, it's not for everyone. And that's in any aspect with anyone's career. And it's not even TV related. You have to ask yourself the hard questions like, will I move, or can I change my name, or there's a lot of things that people may want you to do, and it's got to feel right, because it will follow you for the rest of your life. So
Yeah.
wow, it's so interesting. So tell me more about your brother, because it looks like the two of you together started to form a band and then needing to gather up other band members, which may or may not be the same members you have currently. So walk me through that. Like, how many band members have you had? Did you change your names? Introduce us to your band experience.
Yeah. My brother and I have had multiple bands based on where we've lived. So of course when we move that band, it's goodbye. We love you guys. And like it's always nice because we still do see some of those old bandmates, and we're allowed to see them now and like jam with them, and it's like just like old times. But we moved to Nashville about 3.5 years ago, and we were super new. Like I was working two full-time jobs that weren't even music yet because the prices in Nashville are pretty, when we first moved here, still are. We're pretty through the roof. So I was doing everything, like working 16-hour shifts, doing everything I could to make sure that, I could afford living in this big brand new city. I didn't know anyone here. My brother was also working, and we finally one day I ended up auditioning for a certain circuit on Broadway. And they immediately were like, okay, your first gig will be tomorrow. You have to learn 50 songs. So my brother and I were like freaking out. Our guitar player at the time, we had another guitar player that had to introduce us to a drummer. And so we just, for an entire night, for like 10 hours, just learning song to song to song, being like, hopefully we do good tomorrow. Scary. And then that was our first ever gig. And ever since that day, we have been performing every single day. Like I play out with my brother and my fiance who joined the band not too long ago. I would say like a year ago. But yeah, we just play all the time together.
So, how did you meet your fiance? As another musician, or how does that come about?
My fiance was in another band. And so, how Broadway works is there's a 10 a.m. shift that goes to 2 p.m., 2 p.m. to 6 p.m., 6 p.m. to 10 p.m., and then a 10 p.m. to close shift. So, it's 4 hour gigs. And I was playing a 6 to 10. And in the same building, but through a set of doors, Trey was setting up with his band. And I didn't know who he was until I walked in preparing to leave. I had all my gear and I looked at him setting up, and we both just like stared at each other. And then I turned to my friend and said, I like that guy. And she said, do you know who that is? And I was like, no. And now we've been together for for 3 years, and now we're engaged. So
Wow. So, when she said, do you know who he is? Was he like a famous name in the area, or she was just curious to
yeah,
know?
she was just curious to know if I knew who he was, and he is a very, very well respected drummer in Nashville. And I was pretty brand new, so I didn't really know anybody in the city yet.
Wow, so that's exciting. So, just for your audience sake, when you say Broadway, are these like venue halls where people come and they have food and drink, or what does it look like?
So they're like big venues. There's about, I would say, like 30 to 40 venues. They're like restaurants, but bars, and they have different bands at every single floor. A lot of the venues have like 4 to 5 floors, and every single floor there's a band. So they have food, they have drinks. The band is the main entertainment. And I love playing in Nashville, Tennessee. It's just always such a fun time.
Yes, there's always a party going on. So,
Yeah.
those 50 songs that you were given, when you looked at the list, were these songs that you already knew, or were these songs that were just like completely cold to?
Some of them I knew, and other ones I had no idea what they were. Like, if I'm being honest, like Suds in the Bucket, I had never heard about that song until I moved to Nashville. And it's because I didn't grow up listening to country music. So I didn't care for country music until I learned in Nashville. And I like it now, but there's still so much about country that I don't know because I've always listened to rock and like metal, funk, R&B, and the country was the one genre that I had no idea about. So even still to this day, I mean, when we're playing on Broadway, you get asked a lot to play songs that the people want to hear, and that's what we love doing. I love playing songs, even if I've never heard it or played it, I'll still try. And sometimes it goes really good, sometimes it's bad. But still to this day, people will ask me like a really, really old country song like Merle Haggard, like super B-sided, and I'm like, ew. I'm like, I'll do my homework on that one. I'll listen.
Wow, that's wild. So, when somebody does do that, do you have to get out your cell phone? Like, where would you even find where to start with something like that?
So the band has talkback mics, so we could all hear each other and no one in the audience can hear us. And my fiance, Trey, the drummer, normally puts his phone and plays the song on the talkback while I'm like eliminating dead space by saying a cheers or like asking people where they're from over the microphone. I would say normally, I not to brag about my band or anything, but also yes to brag about it. My band does a very, very good job of being able to play something on the fly without even ever hearing it.
That's incredible. Yeah, because some of those songs, I mean, the Sud song you mentioned before, I don't know it. I don't know a lot of
Yeah,
country.
yeah,
I really don't. I have to really know the country. That would be really like Dolly Parton or, things that have really been marketed for me to really recognize a country song. There's maybe some artists from the 80s, like Eddie Rabbitt, I Love a Rainy Night. Those are like country songs to me that to me are very recognizable.
Yeah.
But it is very impressive. And I can't imagine being put on the spot like that. I would be very nervous. So
Yeah.
uh, I give you a lot of credit in that regard. So what you're doing now, you're getting bigger gigs, you're going to like the next level. Tell me how you felt that started to happen for you. You're like, oh, we're going to do an album or we're going to do this. Like, when did that all kind of come together outside of just doing Broadway?
So my manager is the one that kind of started. I've always been writing, and my manager just came into my life a couple years ago, and he actually, people always say like, "Oh, you can't get big on Broadway, like you won't break through." And I was playing like a Wednesday in the winter on a rooftop, and there were like four people there in the room, and one of those people was my now manager. And so my manager runs front of house with Lee Bryce, so Lee Bryson, like Wayne, my manager, have given us like we are super blessed to be able to use like Lee's studio. And we just recorded our 12-song album, which has been a work in progress for about 2 years now.
How did he kind of like get
Yeah.
you to come together? Because you said that your drummer, who is now your fiance, is only new for a year. So that means you started this project with a different drummer. So how did that come together?
Well, so I started this project with my fiance, I would say. I was playing on Broadway with a different drummer until he went on tour. My different drummer, still love him so much. He's awesome. And he was out of town for about 3 months. So, like, it was awesome what he was doing. Like, he's doing amazing, exactly what he moved here to do, is tour. But I just needed someone that would be able to stay here and, like, be my drummer, if that makes sense. So my manager and I like went out for dinner every single week for about 6 months, and he never offered me anything. He was like, I just want you to get to know me and like decide if you would want to potentially work with me. So we built like a really good, stable relationship off of us two just sitting, talking, getting to know each other. And he got to know more about me musically also. And he was like, well, let's say if we record an album, how many songs do you have right now? And I was like, about 18. And he was like, all right, we're doing a 12-song album. So this year is the year where all of those songs are coming out.
That's excited. So do you take more of the responsibility for the songwriting, or is it more of a collaboration with the whole band members?
I'd say it's more of a collaboration. There's a lot of songs that I do solo write, and there's a lot of songs that I write just with my brother, and then there's also a lot of songs that I write with my acoustic guitar player, Nick. So I guess it depends. When ideas come to me and I think of songs, it like a melody will pop into my head when I'm in the shower, and I immediately like have to grab my phone like mid shower and I have to record it immediately and like don't forget this. My fiance also is a producer, so when I have something in my mind like that, we have a studio in our house and he tracks it immediately, which is
That's
awesome.
that is really good. That's first of all, it's convenient, but second of all, it's really good because you can get your timeline sped up. Just introduce me to the members of the band.
So my brother Cole Layman, who's my guitar player, my fiance Trey Caldwell, the drummer, and then we have Nick Varellis on organ, B3 keys, and Nicholas Kenton, who's on acoustic guitar and writes a lot of the material with me.
I listened to Brainless several times. I love it. The
Thank you.
minute it comes on now, I recognize it. And to me, it sounds almost like the song is in two parts. Like there's a beginning part, and then it kind of transitions into the second part. So it's one song, but it almost feels like it's two songs put together. How does it sound
Yeah.
to you?
Nick Kenton and I actually wrote that song within like 30 minutes. We were just like in a room with a couple people. My fiance was there actually. We just kept building ideas off of each other. He kept messing around with the acoustic, and I kept thinking of the lyrics and the melody and what type of vibe and imagery I wanted people to see and hear when they heard the song.
So, how did you come up with the lyrics for that?
Um,
the storyline behind it.
Yeah.
Because the title is like Brainless. It's like, okay, and what is this about?
Yeah. So Brainless is about kind of just like when you're so attracted to somebody, like somebody new, if you're in the honeymoon phase, that it like makes you stupid. So it's like being around someone and like turning your brain off and being just like, that's the only person that you think about.
Yes. And there's something in this song, it sounds like you're saying, and I'm famous. Is that correct?
Oh, Can't Tame Us.
Oh my God. That is
Yeah.
so funny. I love that when people like, oh, they're singing a song and everyone's like, no, you're not singing it right.
Yeah.
So what is the actual line?
Can't Tame Us, I'm Brainless.
Very interesting. So tell me a little bit. I know the songs haven't been released yet, but tell me a little bit like how the songs are going to be released.
I will be releasing 11 songs this year
Okay,
at
great.
different times.
All right, great. So tell me about your social media. Tell me how we can reach you on your social media. What are the platforms? What are the streaming platforms? How are people going to be able to hear your music?
Instagram is what I am the most active on. It is Logan Layman, and it is Logan Layman on every other platform like Facebook, TikTok, LOGANLAYMAN. And then I also have a website that is www.loganlayman.com. So, and then I have my mailing list on that. Brainless is the first and only single released as of right now, and that's released on Spotify, Apple Music, Pandora, iTunes, Amazon Music, every streaming platform.
What are the other big gigs that you can talk about? What do you have planned for the rest of 2026?
We are doing all of the Country Thunders this year, the ones in Canada as well, opening up for like the one I'm most excited about is Creed. And Creed is going to be there. They are playing a couple bands after us in Saskatchewan, I believe, Canada. And then also we're playing in Arizona. Like Zach Top is a country artist that I really enjoy. And like Lainey Wilson is on the lineup, Red Clay Strays, Riley Green, like a lot of different of the big country artists right now. So I think there's about 6 or 7 of those that we'll be doing this summer.
Very exciting. Yeah, I love those festivals. I'm always going to the heavy metal.
Yeah.
Rock and roll, right? Yeah, no, they're good though, because not just being a participant, but also being a musician and an artist, because you get to network with people that you wouldn't normally see. And you could witness their work and be like, oh, maybe there'll be a future collaboration or something. So there's so many network opportunities there. Very good. All right. So, well, I can't thank you enough for being on the show.
Thank you.
We will be looking forward to seeing more of you, Logan Layman and her band, based in Nashville, Tennessee. It has been a pleasure, and even a bigger pleasure, to see you at NAMM at the Paulie Z Jam Night. Thank you again, Logan.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You have my heart in the palm of your hands, and if you'd ask, I'd cancel my plans. Whoa, what you doing? Oh, later on, why don't we dance all through the night until we see the sun? And what you gonna expect when you look like that? Your hands up on my body, there's no turning back. You can buy me a drink. Will you make me make bad decisions? Your tattoos on my body make it so hard to think. Can't tame us, I'm brainless. No operator turned off my phone. You have my attention, well, you got me alone. Ooh, put the car in park, turn the music up. Show me all the reasons why you fell in love. And what you gonna expect when you look like that? Your hands up on my body, there's no turning back. Baby, I'm a woman. You can't buy my love, but you can buy me a drink. what's it gonna hurt you if you just stay the night? I know you feel the fire looking in my eyes, and nothing's gonna stop me from loving you tomorrow. Anyway, baby, I'm a woman. You can't buy my love, but you can buy me a drink. And while you make bad decisions, your tattoos on my body make it so hard to think. Can't tame us, I'm Brainless. You have my heart in the palm of your hands, and if you'd ask, I'd cancel my plans. Whoa, what you doing? Oh, later on, why don't we dance all through the night until we see the sun? And what you gonna expect when you look like that? Your hands up on my body, there's no turning back. You can buy me a drink. Well, you make bad decisions. Your tattoos on my body make it so hard to think. Can't tame us, I'm Brainless. No operator turned off my phone. You have my attention, well, you got me alone. Ooh, put the car in park, turn the music up. Show me all the reasons why you fell in love. And what you gonna expect when you look like that? Your hands up on my body, there's no turning back. Baby, I'm a woman. You can't buy my love, but you can buy me a drink. Well, you make bad decisions. Your tattoos on my body make it so hard to think. Can't tame us, I'm Brainless. So what's it gonna hurt you if you just stay the night? I know you feel the fire looking in my eyes, and nothing's gonna stop me from loving you tomorrow. Anyway, baby, I'm a woman. You can't buy my love, but you can buy me a drink. And while you make bad decisions, your tattoos on my body make it so hard to think. Can't tame us, I'm Brainless. You have my heart in the palm of your hands, and if you'd ask, I'd cancel my plans. Whoa, what you doing? Oh, later on, why don't we dance all through the night until we see the sun? And what you gonna expect when you look like that? Your hands up on my body, there's no turning back. Baby, I'm a woman. You can't buy my love, but you can buy me a drink. Well, you make bad decisions. Your tattoos on my body make it so hard to think. Can't tame us, I'm Brainless. No operator turned off my phone. You have my attention, well, you got me alone. Ooh, put the car in park. a drink. Why you make bad decisions? Your tattoos on my body make it so hard to think. Can't tame us, I'm brainless. So what's it gonna hurt you if you just stay the night? I know you feel the fire looking in my eyes, and nothing's gonna stop me from loving you tomorrow. Anyway, baby, I'm a woman. You can't buy my love, but you can buy me a drink. And when you make bad decisions, your tattoos on my body make it so hard to think. Can't tame us, I'm brainless.
You have been listening to Bringing the Darkness to the Light with Catherine Nadal, professional psychic medium, Dream Central Station, LLC. My audio editor is Al Hemberger at the Loft Recording Studios in Bronxville, New York. This is WNEW 102.7 FM radio.